Greetings, citizens of the galaxy. This is your Emperor speaking. Thanks to the valiant efforts of many agents, all of the beings capable of stopping me in my quest for galactic domination have now been sealed away in their own realities, and all of the information I require has been presented to me. All that is left now is to destroy the one planet that has everyone left capable of stopping me, the Earth. As you can see, the targeting grid has been established and is pointed, ready to destroy the Earth. All we need to do is to enter the correct digits, and it will fire. Join me, people. Join me. Assist me in entering the firing digits. Destroy the Earth, and join me in my galactic empire. The silly agents decided to try and save the galaxy and give me everything I wanted. They thought they could stop me. No one could stop me. This was my plan all along. There was no quest to save the galaxy. I created all of these anomalies in order to rule it. This galaxy is mine, and nothing can stop me now. Join me, enter all of the coordinates, fire on Earth, and join me in this galactic domination quest, and raise an empire that will rule for thousands of years. Join me. Join me. Join me.
I suppose it's time I start explaining what's been going on with the Save the Galaxy puzzle adventure. So, there's a few people who found this puzzle. Not many, but a few. How did this all begin? So, back in January, I ran a puzzle hunt. And it was tiny, and I told people I was going to be doing something this month, in February. And at the same time, I was playing around with puzzle ideas, and I came up with this puzzle. And the original working title for this puzzle was Destroy the Earth. As you can see, there's like a targeting grid, and it's like an old science fiction targeting grid with all the beams pointing at the Earth and the frame around the grid, and there's the Earth in the middle, the blue planet, the third planet, and the Earth's moon, and then you've got the dots which kind of are symmetrical and sort of make it look like that old science fiction thing. And it's actually not a bad puzzle. You'll see that soon, I hope. The feedback has been good, although I didn't know that for a while. And the reason was, I came up with this puzzle and I tested it, and I was about to send it to a tester when someone turned around and said, "So what are you doing in February for your puzzle pack?" And I stopped and I thought, wait a minute. What if I do a puzzle pack about saving the galaxy, and hidden at the end of the puzzle pack is this puzzle? So, no one knew about this until 2 days before Save the Galaxy launched. No one knew about it. Then I got someone, Sotek, my regular tester, to test this puzzle for me. I knew it was good. I'd solved it quite a few times. And I got Sotek to test it for me, and he confirmed it was good. If you grab the solution code at the end of Save the Galaxy, and a few people found this, there are a lot of ones in that solution code. And I don't have it yet, but I will edit it and I will put it up beside me. So if you grab the solution code, which I will put up here, and you split the numbers in the solution code out so that they look like the number that I'll also put up here, just below it, I hope, then you can convert those to letters. And if you can convert those to letters, you will get something that I will put hopefully just here. And that's the format of all of the links that have been in this puzzle pack. Now, I didn't know what exactly the code was going to be. I had to make stuff work. I thought it was going to be a tiny URL. And then Sven, who writes Sudoku Pad, came to my rescue and said, I can do custom links for you and everything. So I was able to change the code and set that all up at the end. I didn't know exactly what the link was going to be, but I did know I was going to do one. And that leads to this puzzle. The link to this is now directly below. Not even the other setters who helped me create Save the Galaxy knew that this was the ending. Until this video comes out, it is quite possible they still don't know. Through testing, it wasn't found. It was found by the first person to save the galaxy, to complete the puzzle adventure. And they found the code and found this puzzle. At the time of me recording this, only 4 other people have found it. So this has not been seen by many people, even though it's been out there since I launched the puzzle adventure. This was not required in order for people to get credit. This was just an Easter egg. I always planned on releasing this puzzle at the end. If you found it, you got the puzzle early. It is not required to be in the running for the prize. You don't get any extra points for completing this. You will get a ruler of the galaxy credit when I release the names. But that's all. There is no bonuses. There's no extra prize or anything like that for it, apart from the fact that, congratulations, you found the bonus puzzle. That was my intention with this. Some people may think I'm crazy. They're probably not wrong. And I'm sorry about the really long intro to this, but I wanted people to know that I have been playing with this idea now for over a month, and I've been sitting on this puzzle without anyone, any of the other setters, any of the other people who helped me test the pack found this or knew it was there. And at the time of me recording this, only 3 days before it ends, they still don't. So, I suppose it's time for me to show you how you put the digits into the targeting grid and destroy the Earth and help that Emperor guy rule the galaxy. Thank you to everyone who participated in Save the Galaxy. Very special thank you to those who found this and completed Rule the Galaxy. And I hope everyone had fun. Remember, do not feel bad if you didn't find this. Most people didn't. And as I said, I was always going to release this at the end anyway, so it doesn't matter. Here's the puzzle. Feel free to solve it. You didn't lose out on anything except you're getting the puzzle a week and a bit later than most people. Big deal. So, with that, thank you for sitting through my introduction. I hope you enjoyed Save the Galaxy, and I hope you will enjoy Rule the Galaxy Together, which was originally called Destroy the Earth. Let's look at the puzzle, shall we? So, how does this puzzle work? So there are a few rules in play. So first thing, and though this is one of the last rules mentioned, the blue line is a Renban line. It is blue because it is the little blue planet Earth, the 3rd planet from our sun. The grey dot is our moon. It must be odd because the moon is kind of odd. The main rules in the puzzle are normal Sudoku rules apply. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. The green lines are whisper lines. Along these lines, adjacent digits must differ by at least 5. And then you've got Kropke pairs. Cells separated by a black dot must be in a 1 to 2 ratio. Cells separated by a white dot must be consecutive. Not all dots are given. With that, I know this puzzle is solvable. I know the solution path to this. This will be me showing you how the puzzle works. Please jump to the puzzle link below if you want to try this and give it a shot. The feedback on this puzzle from the few people who found it has been extraordinarily good. Some people have called it one of the best puzzle. Some people have called it the best puzzle in the pack, even though officially it's not part of Save the Galaxy, but it's hidden in there. So let me show you how this puzzle works, but try it first. So here we go. So there's a couple of tricks you can use to break into this puzzle. And the first thing I want to show you is the trick with the 5s. So let's start by looking at row 2. In row 2, we know that you cannot put 5 on a whisper line because 5 higher than 5 is 10, 5 lower than 5 is 0. So you cannot put 5 in any of those cells. You also cannot put 5 on a black crop key dot because 1 to 2 ratio would be 2.5 or 10, also not allowed. So 5 must go into one of those 2 cells in row 2. In column 8, we have exactly the same restriction. You cannot put 5 into any of those cells because they're on a whisper line, and you cannot put a 5 there because it's on a black crop key dot. 5 must go into one of those cells. Now we can look at row 8, and we know that 5 can't go on those cells, which are the whisper line, and that leaves these 3 cells that 5 could be, and I'll turn the yellow off, I shouldn't have turned it on. That leaves these 3 cells. But that cell also can't be a 5, because if this is a 5, this must be a 4 or a 6. And if this is a 4, because of the whisper line, both of those would have to be a 9. And if this is a 6, both of those would have to be a 1. So this cannot be a 5. And the same is true in column 2. I can't put 5 there because of the whisper line, and if I put 5 here, that would have to be a 4 or a 6, and I can't put 2 1s or 2 9s on the whisper line. So 5 is limited to those locations. And what we end up with, perfectly appropriate for a sci-fi destroy a planet theme, is 2 X-Wings in 5s in those positions. 5s must go into those positions. And what do I mean by X-Wings? If I put a 5 here, in this box, which is the only place it can go in the column, then I cannot put another 5 in this column. And in this column, I cannot put a 5 here, so I'm forced to put a 5 here. But that knocks the 5 out of that position in that row, which puts a 5 here, and this 5 knocks the 5 out of a position here, and I end up here. So I've got this rectangle of forced 5s. So 5s will either go in that disposition or in that disposition. So the 5s are forced to be either in one of those 2 sets. They cannot possibly go a different way. So those X-Wings basically eliminate 5s from all of these positions, a lot of which are knocked out by the whisper lines and everything. But it does eliminate 5s from all of these cells as well, which means 5s have to go in these cells in boxes 2, 4, 6, and 8, and you can't put them on the whisper line in box 5, so they have to go on the Renban line. And that is all of the possible positions for 5 in the puzzle. So, what now do we want to do? We actually want to look at the whisper constraint. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color this line. So we know that these will be one high-lowity. So one, what is the word that people are using now? It's not parity, it's polarity. These will be one polarity, high or low, and these will be the other polarity, because when you put a high or a low digit onto a whisper line, because of the 5 difference, they must jump the 5 to the other high-low polarity. These are consecutive dots. So this must be the same polarity as that, because I can't get to a low polarity from a high polarity or a high polarity from a low polarity, because that would not be consecutive. So both of these will be the same polarity, purple, which means all of those are purple and those are green, and these are purple and these are green. I'm using green and purple because my normal high-low colors are blue and yellow, but I don't know which is which yet. We do know that this is blue. This is consecutive, so it must have the same polarity, which means this will be the same polarity and these will be green. This will therefore be green, which sets these to green and sets these to purple. But we've now got the same consecutive trick here. This cannot be green, because if this, or 5, because 5 is forced into here, and if this was green, it wouldn't be consecutive. So this is purple, and down here, and this is the important one, this is green. Now in row 8, I've got 4 green, and that can't be 5. So that must be purple. I can now keep coloring. This must be purple, these must be green. This is consecutive, that must be green, so those must be green, and these must be purple. This is consecutive, so that must be green, these must be purple, and that must be green. And this is as far as I can basically get. I don't yet know the coloring of those, but every single whisper line I now have colored. So where do I go from here? So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in that this is either 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, because this must be an odd digit. Can't be a 5 because we know the 5 is forced into one of those two cells by the double X-wing. Or, more likely, because it's on a whisper line. I should have just said it's because it's on a whisper line. The threat to the Earth is obviously distracting me. So, sorry if this sounds like a lecture, but I have solved this puzzle a lot. So, what's the next trick? Well, we've got these two black crop key dots, which must have two different polarities on them. Pardon me, I absolutely need a drink of water. My mouth is very dry. So, these must have different polarities on them. So, they can't be 1, 2, and they can't be 2, 4. So, they're either 3, 6, or 4, 8. And up here, this is either 3, 6, or 4, 8. This can't be 4, because if this was 4, both of those would have to be 9. So, it's not 4, and it can't be 6, because both of those would have to be 1. So that's 3 or 8. Once this is 3 or 8, 3 would go with 6, 8 would go with 4, so I can take 3 and 8 out of there. The same applies down here. Can't put 4 or 6 here because I can't double up the 1s or the 9s. The 4 or 6 comes out of there, the 3 and the 8 comes out of there. These are 4, 6 on whisper line. So if this is a 4, this will be a 9. If it's a 6, this will be a 1. If this is a 4, this will be a 9. If it's a 6, this will be a 1. And I've got these pairs looking up down the column. The most important one is in this middle box. Because if I look at this middle box now, I've got 2 high and 2 low digits in here, forced by the whisper lines. Now, I must have, therefore, on this line, I must have a low, the 5 and 2 high digits. I can't use the 1 or the 2, because if I used the 1 or the 2 on the Renban line, I would have to use the 3 as I moved up toward the high digits. So this must be 4, 5, 6, 7. There is nothing else I can put onto this Renban line that will allow me to not to have the 2 lows and the 2 highs. Basically, I can only use the 1 and the 2 here, because otherwise I need to put the 3 on it. Then I have the only low I've got left is 4. Once I've got 4 on it and I can't go down, it's 4, 5, 6, 7. These become 1, 2, 8, and 9. But I've got a 1, 9 pair. So I can take the 1, 9 out of there, and I can take the 2, 8 out of there. And those digits become those pairs. Okay, now I've solved this a lot, but this is where I actually get a little bit stumped. But we'll see how I go. This cell now can be 2, 4, 7, or 9 because of the forced consecutiveness to the 3 or the 8. So that's all it can be. Another important thing to note is this must be 1, 2, 4, or 8 because I can't use 3, 6. And this must be 1, 2, 4, or 8. And I can't put a 4 here because that would require 2 9s. So this is not 4. And if this is not 4, this can't be 8. So similarly, that can't be 4 because I'd need 2 9s, so this can't be 8. These two digits we now know for certain are low. And that matters. If this is 4, what happens? Well, if this is a 4, this becomes a 9 by the whisper line. So we've got a purple 9 here, but that makes this a 1. And this is also purple, so it has to have the same polarity as this. So if this is a 4, this is a 9, and this has to be a 9. So you cannot put a 4 in that cell. It just doesn't work. So now we've got a question about what happens with this pair. If this is a 1, what we've said is this is now low, and this becomes a 2, and green is low. So this is 1, this is 2. Green is low, so if green is low, this becomes 2, this becomes 3, this becomes 4 because it's the fourth green in the column, and that becomes a 6, except green is low. So we've got 2 4s in this box. This cannot be 1. Once this is not, well, it just can't be 1. If this is 2, this can only be 1. So again, we've got the situation of green is low, but we've got a 2 here, and that's a high digit. So 2, 1, and there's nothing there. This cannot be 2. This is a 4. This is now 4 with either 2 or 8. Still can be high-low. But it takes the 4 out of those two cells, puts a 4 in those two cells, which takes a 4 out of there, which takes the 8 out of there, and this becomes a 1-2 pair. Purple now must be low, must be blue, and green must be yellow. And we now have the high-low parity of the entire grid of whisper lines. And we can just go through and we can put all of the high-low digits into the grid. So that must be an 8, that must be a 3, that must be a 6, that must be a 1, that must be a 2, that must be a 1, that must be an 8, that must be a 9. And I think that's what I get straight away, but this is what breaks the puzzle open. And now I've just... And this is basically where I get up to when I just have to go into blind solving. So these are a 1-2 pair, except the 2, of course, here resolves it. That's the 1 and that's the 2. So we've now got all the low digits. This must be 6, 7, or 9. It can't, sorry, 6, 7, or 9. Can't be a 6. There's already a 6 in the box. This becomes a 7 or 9. This must be an even digit to be consecutive with the odd digit, and we know it's high. So this becomes the 8. 8 is okay between 2 and 3. This is a high digit. This must be 7 or 9, and it can't be 7 because it's next to a 3. This becomes the 9. This becomes the 7. This becomes the 9. We now know there is a 9 somewhere up here, but we're not certain which one it's in. So these are 7, 8, and 9, but if we put an 8 here, these would be 7 and 9, which are not consecutive, so we can take the 8 out of there. This is a 7 or 9. This has to be 6 or 8, but I can't put a 6 here, or both of those would have to be 1. So this becomes an 8. It kind of agrees with the fact that the 8 had to be over here. So those two 8s now force 8 into those, which I already had. These are a 1-2 pair because these are the last two low digits in the row. Yeah, I'm kind of just solving at this point. This is a 2 or a 4. Can't be a 4 because it has to go next to an 8. This is a 2. So there is a 4, 5 in this. I'm going to keep the 5s actually in this. Now, what have I got here? This is a 5, 6. Oh, and that 6 resolves it. That becomes a 5, that becomes a 4, that becomes a 5, that becomes a 6, this becomes a 5, this becomes a 5, this is not a 5, and as I said, all of those 5s went into one of those sets where they sort of rotated around that outside area of the grid. This is 1, 2, or 3. I need to put a 7 in one of those two. This is actually high. I should keep colouring. This is 6, 7, or 8. I'm not sure which yet. I will get to it. This is actually, oh, this is low, and this becomes a 1-2 pair because they're the only digits I haven't placed yet. So trying to remember. Okay, I need to put, so these are from 1, 2, and 3 because I've already got the 4 and these must be low. So there must be a 2 in there. So this becomes a 1 and this becomes the 2. The 1 in here, of course, takes the 1 out of there. So this is a 2, 3 pair. So this is either going to go 1, 2, 3 or 4, 3, 2. So this must be a 1 or a 4. It's whisper restrictions and I'm trying to remember where. This is, okay, this is 6 or 7 because of that's all the high that's left, and it can't be a 6 because it's next to the 2. That becomes a 7. So this is now the only digit missing is 6, so this is not a 6 anymore. And that's the only, what I mean, it's the only digit left in the row. which puts a 6 in one of those. 8 has to go down here now because of those 8s. I should have practiced more, shouldn't I? I've solved the break-in so many times and know that it resolves, but I should have practiced more. This is 7, 8, or 9. This is 4, this is 9, that is fine. This can't be 4 because that can't be 9, so this is 1, 2, or 3. Uh, 6, 1 is fine. What am I missing? It will be something incredibly obvious because everyone who has watched my channel for a while knows I miss the incredibly obvious. 1, 2. Oh, there's a 1, 2, 3 triple here, so this does become a 4, which makes this the 3, which makes this the 2. This being a 3 takes the 3 out of there. This is a 1, 2, so this can only be a 1, 2, or 3. We've now got a 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is a 1, 2 pair, so this becomes a 3, which means this becomes a 2. This becomes a 1. This becomes a 2. There is no 1 up here. This is a 1 or a 4. This 2 makes this a 1 and this a 2. This 3 means this cannot be a 7. This can only be 7, 8, or 9. It can't be 9. I can't put a 6 in there because they're both 2s. I can't put a 6 in there anymore, so this is 7, 8, or 9. I can't put an 8 in there, so this is 7 or 9. So this is 7, 8, and 9, which means this now must be 6. These are 1, 4... 7, 8, 9. So this is 1, 4, 7. And this is 1, 4, 9. Need to put a 6 in here. No, I don't. I've got a 6. I need to put a 3 in here. What is it I am missing? That can't be a 7. 7 is too close to 4. Yeah, what am I talking about? 4 means this is a 9, and it has been for ages. This is an 8. This is a 7. This means this is not an 8. It is a 7 or a 9. That should do something. This is not a 7 anymore. There is a 7 in there now because it can't be in either of those. So that means this is an 8. Takes 8 out of there. These are 1, 7, and 9. This is actually a high digit. I don't know why I'm struggling so much. I really don't know why I'm struggling so much. I have solved this puzzle a lot. This is not a 9. This is a 1 or a 7. 1, 1. Oh, there's no 1 here. So 1 is in one of those two. 1 is in one of those two. I am very confused. Now people can laugh at me for missing my own trick. What the heck? Oh, this can't be a 4 because that can't be a 9. That is now a 1. There is no 1 in there. The 1 makes this a 7, which makes this a 9, which makes this the 1. The 7 is high. The 1 is low. The 9 makes this the 4, which makes this the 7, which makes this the 9. This is high, this is low. This is now a pair, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is a 3, 4 pair. This is now 5, 6, and 9. I can't put, or 9 goes right in the middle because I can't put 9 in because of the pointing 9. So that becomes high. This is now 3 and 8, but I can't put 8 at the top. So that's the 3 and that's the 8, and this is not the 8. So this is high and this is low. This is now on 4, 5, and 6. This is not 4. I should take the 5 pencil marks out of those. There will be something in here that is silly of me not to spot. Okay, there it is. That two, Lord, oh Lord. That 2 has been making that a 3 forever, which has been making that a 1 forever. Yeah, this is not a great solve by me. 4, 7, and 8. This is not the 8. Oh, that's a 7. This is not the 7. In fact, this is a 2. So that is low. This is high. This is 3, 5, and 6. There's no 3 in the middle. Is the 4, 8 resolved? Yes, it is. This is the 4 and this is the 8. The 4 looks down, making that the 3 and that the 4. I could have coloured them anyway because they are both low. This is a pair, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which is resolved. This is 6. This is 7. They are both high. It's one of the worst solves I've done in ages, which is a bit of a shame, really. 3, 5, and 9. Well, 3 goes at the bottom. And 5 and 9 by the 3s and the 9s and everything pointing in. 9 is high. 3 is low. This is not a 5 anymore. This is not a 5. This is not a 7. I should take the 4 pencil marks out. They are not really relevant now. This is a 4 or a 6. Because these are consecutive, this needs to be an even and an odd. This becomes the 5. There is no 5 in there. There is no 5 here. This is a 4, 6 pair now. And this 9 has made this a 7 ages ago. The 4, 6 pair takes 6 out of these 2 cells. The 5, 7 pair makes this a 6, which makes this a 4, which makes this 5. Wow. Which makes this a 4, which makes this a 5. Recording under pressure because of health reasons, but I really wanted to do my best for this video and I didn't. I'm sorry, everyone. This is a 6 and this is a 3 because of the 3 down here. This is a high. This is a low. I hope people will forgive my horrible solve. This is a 6, and now we know this is going to be a high digit, and this will be a nothing because we put in a 5 and we put in a 7, and that looks good to the targeting computer, so the Earth can now be fired upon and destroyed. So that was what actually caused the Save the Galaxy Puzzle Adventure Pack to be created. It was the inspiration for it all, this puzzle. There was actually someone who posted a comment to, I think it was the original advertisement trailer, saying, yeah, I suppose I'll save the galaxy, but what I really want to do is conquer it. And I was so tempted to put a comment in there. I think I actually may have and then deleted it almost immediately after because I didn't want to spoil it. Thank you everyone for participating in Save the Galaxy, and I really hope that you enjoyed this puzzle as well. I know I made a bit of a schmozzle of that solve, but I hope that you enjoyed the entire experience. I'm really looking forward to the comments. Please feel free to message me on Discord if you would like to talk about it. Please tell me if you think I went overboard with this. My goal is to possibly do maybe 3 events like this a year, where I do trailers and actually tie it into a story and actually use the channel as a way of delivering a story like this. It won't always be the same story, of course, but doing something like this a bit different is something that I would like to do again. But it's so much work, I don't want to just do it every month. I would go more insane than I am. Thank you everyone for participating. Thank you everyone for watching. I really look forward to hearing your comments and feedback. And all I can say is, despite the destruction of the planet that we all live on, good luck with your solving.